Hello and welcome to LoreDive, where we look into and analyze the stories behind all of our favorite video games. Today we are going back into Dead by Daylight and looking into the compendium chapter, Lucky Break, where we get a look into another side of Lisa Sherwood before she became the terrifying and bloodthirsty hag.
Don't play with powers you don't understand. Lisa's grandmother scolds her for scratching a symbol into her textbook for good luck. Lisa apologizes for snooping through her things. She just wanted to know more about the old village town and the stories of witches and cannibals that were burned alive or chased out. She heard her mother say her grandmother had come across several books written in an unknown language with strange symbols. Her grandmother warns her to stay away from her books. You can attract great misfortune to yourself and others. Lisa wants to laugh but doesn't. She was just messing around and doesn't really believe in all this superstitious nonsense. No such thing as witches and cannibals, Gran. I was just hoping for a little luck on my algebra test. No harm, no foul. Her grandmother tells her the symbol she sketched was the very one she had used long ago to turn a cannibal into a gnarled, twisted swamp tree covered in putrid black ooze. It's so ridiculous, Lisa wants to burst out laughing, but she contains herself as she listens to her tale of cannibals and missing children. When her grandmother finishes her story, Lisa hugs her and kisses her soft, wrinkled forehead. Don't worry, Gran. I'm not going to turn into a swamp tree or be kidnapped by a bunch of cannibals.
I don't know if a more ironic statement has ever been said, but that's not our story for today. Lisa's grandmother is trying to teach her to respect the old ways, to respect the things in the world that she cannot fully understand. Lisa doesn't believe or understand her grandmother's stories, not fully anyway, but she will learn that just because you don't fully understand something doesn't mean that it can't harm you.
Lisa doesn't know if it's the symbols on her book or some kind of placebo effect, but her math scores are improving. Not as much as they should be, but still. She's passing, and passing is an improvement. Her friend Pam says it's all malarkey. There's no such thing as lucky symbols that can raise your grade. It's all smoke and mirrors, unfounded ancient superstition. Jokingly, Pam says she wants better marks too. She grabs Lisa's textbook and copies the symbol in her school agenda several times. Lisa feels a tug in her gut, and she stares at the symbols with concern. You really shouldn't do that. She yanks her textbook back from Pam. You shouldn't mess with powers you don't understand. Pam laughs. What's the problem, Lisa? If these things can help you pass math, they can help me pass English too. No big deal.
Some secrets should not be shared, particularly with those who lack the ability to treat them with the respect that they deserve. Lisa found a really bad confidant in Pam. Boorish, brutish, annoying. Pam uses Lisa's charms not believing in their power, nor is she wary about what side effects they may have, something that Lisa will live to regret.
Pam begs for another symbol or charm to help her on a test she isn't ready for with a teacher she despises, a teacher she ridicules for being an overweight pill-popping bore. Lisa refuses to entertain the idea and tells her she's not allowed to look at her grandmother's secret book, let alone share its contents with strangers. Pam shrugs and proceeds to scratch a symbol on her arm with a toothpick. She asks if Lisa heard what happened to the woman near the school. Lisa shakes her head. Pam laughs as she draws blood with the toothpick. Dumbass walked into the street while reading and splat. Crushed by a truck. Come! She flicks the toothpick to the ground, grabs Lisa's wrist, and leads her to a road a few blocks from the school. Lisa covers her nose and can smell the fermenting human fluids in the cracks of the pavement. Pam points out bloodstains and clumps of hair in the road and makes jokes at the dead girl's expense. Lisa grabs her wrist angrily. You mustn't laugh at the dead. Pam yanks her wrist away. Stop being creepy, Lisa. It's not like she's still around to get offended. Besides, your symbols got me covered with all kinds of luck. Lisa stares at Pam's arm with concern and hopes the dead girl's spirit didn't take offense. Her grandmother says sometimes spirits linger. especially when they don't want to be dead. Last thing she needs is some dark force following her for the rest of her life.
Pam continues to show off how self-centered and horrible she is. She mocks the living and the dead alike, showing no remorse for her actions, nor treating anyone with a modicum of respect. Lisa plays the pacifist, not calling Pam out on her behavior, nor actively trying to stop her. While everyone is inevitably in charge of their own destiny, Lisa's inaction will have drastic consequences.
Pam's English teacher died of unknown causes, and Pam's dancing with joy, relieved she doesn't have to do his stupid test on some irrelevant dead author. I don't care what English teachers say. James is unreadable and confusing, a pseudo-intellectual who kept everything vague because he didn't actually know what the hell he was talking about. Lisa shrugs, disagrees, but doesn't want to get into it with her friend, her annoying friend. She likes his books, the way his style allows her to live in his character's head for a little while. She finds his novel about an artist to be a fun, formless, dreamlike stew with plenty of style and substance. But what does she know? She's only 16, and her English marks are below average. Pam hoots and hollers, and with a mischievous smile, she reveals a hand covered with ink-smudged symbols. Best luck in the world. No test, no lardass. No dead authors for the rest of the year. Thanks, Lisa. Lisa stares at the symbols on her hand and wants to yell at her for being so careless with things they both don't fully understand. She closes her eyes and hopes her English teacher wants to be dead and that he isn't lurking about. The class is at the funeral out of respect for their beloved English teacher. The pallbearers struggle and strain under the weight of the coffin. Pam leans toward Lisa and whispers how lucky she is and how unlucky the poor pallbearers are to have to lift such a heavy coffin. Imagine having to carry that lardass to his grave. Lisa nudges Pam and tells her to quit it. As the pallbearers approach them, she feels a sudden tug in her gut. An instinct tells her to take some distance from her friend. An image of lightning striking Pam flashes through her mind. She wonders if an angry spirit could make that happen. Every muscle, organ, vessel, fried in an instant for her hubris. Pam snaps Lisa out of her thoughts with another tactless comment. Lisa hears her grandmother's voice in her head, telling her that her friend has tempted fate by laughing at someone else's misfortune, for having laughed at the dead. She doesn't really believe in all her grandmother's superstitions, and yet she inches away from her friend, staring at the darkening clouds, waiting for lightning to strike Pam down.
Pam's teacher is dead, a stroke of good luck for her. Were the charms the cause? Is Lisa to blame? It's obvious that Pam cares not one bit about the pain she may have caused, openly mocking her deceased teacher. Lisa thinks that Pam should be careful, as not all spirits are willing to take such an offense lying down. Pam has learned nothing, absolutely nothing from her experience. She feels no empathy, no remorse. Perhaps her death can act as a warning of what can happen if you treat others so poorly and play with power that you don't truly understand.